Welcome to the fifth episode of Module 2 of our complete English masterclass on capital markets and securities. In the last episode we defined yield to maturity in full precision. Today we roll up our sleeves and compute it. You will learn the iterative process that produces a YTM from a price, the same process your calculator and your spreadsheet use internally. We will walk through a complete numerical example by hand, showing every iteration, until the yield converges to the desired precision. We will see why the bond pricing formula has no closed-form solution for yield, why a guess-and-check approach is the only option, and how the Newton-Raphson method makes that approach converge in just a few iterations. By the end of this episode you will trust your calculator's YTM output completely, because you will have done the exact same calculation by hand. This is a working knowledge episode that turns a black box into something transparent. We will go slowly, we will check each step, and you will see that computing a yield to maturity, while tedious, is not magical. Section 1. Why no closed-form solution exists. Let us start by understanding why we have to iterate. The bond pricing formula is, price equals coupon over 1 plus yield to the t, summed across periods, plus face over 1 plus yield to the n. The unknown we want to solve for is the yield. But the yield appears in the denominator, raised to multiple different powers. Algebraically there is no way to isolate the yield onto one side of the equation. You can do it for n equals 1, a one-period bond. You can do it for n equals 2, a two-period bond, by solving a quadratic. You can do it for n equals 3 with a cubic, and for n equals 4 with a quartic. But beyond n equals 4, no general algebraic solution exists. This is not a finance limitation. It is a mathematical fact about polynomial equations of degree 5 and higher. Since most bonds have many more than 4 periods, we simply cannot solve for yield in closed form. We must iterate. Section 2. The iteration concept: guess, check, adjust. The iteration logic is straightforward. We have the price, the coupon, the face value, and the maturity. We want the yield. So we guess a yield. We plug that yield into the bond pricing formula and compute the price implied by our guess. If the computed price equals the actual price, we are done, our guess was the correct yield. If the computed price is too high, our guessed yield was too low, we adjust upward and try again. If the computed price is too low, our guessed yield was too high, we adjust downward and try again. Each iteration brings us closer. Eventually we get within whatever precision we need, and we stop. The art is in how we adjust between iterations. A naive linear search can take many iterations. A smart method like Newton-Raphson converges in just a few. We will see both. Section 3. A worked example: the setup. Let us compute the YTM of a specific bond. A 5-year corporate bond. Face value $1,000. Annual coupon 6%, so each year you receive $60. Currently trading at a price of $950. The bond has 5 years remaining. We want to find the yield to maturity. Start by writing the equation. 950 equals 60 over 1 plus y, plus 60 over 1 plus y squared, plus 60 over 1 plus y cubed, plus 60 over 1 plus y to the fourth, plus 1060 over 1 plus y to the fifth. There is no way to algebraically isolate y. So we iterate. Section 4. First iteration: the bracketing guess. We need a starting guess. A common heuristic is to use the current yield as a first approximation. Current yield equals coupon over price equals 60 over 950 equals 6.32%. We know YTM should be higher than current yield because the bond trades at a discount and we will gain back the discount to par over the next 5 years. So a reasonable first guess is 7%. Let us plug it into the formula. 60 over 1.07 equals 56.07. 60 over 1.07 squared equals 52.40. 60 over 1.07 cubed equals 48.98. 60 over 1.07 to the fourth equals 45.77. 1060 over 1.07 to the fifth equals 755.66. Sum equals 958.88. The computed price is 958.88. The actual price is 950. Computed too high. So our guess of 7% was too low. We need to try a slightly higher yield. Section 5. Second iteration, narrow the bracket. Let us try 7.3%. 60 over 1.073 equals 55.93. 60 over 1.073 squared equals 52.09. 60 over 1.073 cubed equals 48.55. 60 over 1.073 to the fourth equals 45.23. 1060 over 1.073 to the fifth equals 746.17. Sum equals 947.97. Now the computed price is below the actual price. Our guess of 7.3% was too high. The true yield lies between 7% and 7.3%. We can already narrow the answer to that interval. Section 6. Third iteration, linear interpolation. We can use linear interpolation to pick a better guess. Our two data points are 7% gives price 958.88, and 7.3% gives price 947.97. The actual price is 950. The difference between 958.88 and 947.97 is 10.91. The difference between 958.88 and 950 is 8.88. So the true yield is about 8.88 over 10.91 of the way from 7% to 7.3%. That is about 81% of the way. 7 plus 81% of 0.3 equals 7.24%. Let us try 7.24%. Plugging in, 60 over 1.0724 computed for each year, summed with face, gives a price very close to 950, let us say 949.80. Extremely close. Our YTM, to two decimal places, is 7.24%. Section 7. Newton-Raphson, the efficient method. The linear interpolation we just used is good but not optimal. Newton-Raphson is faster. The idea is to use calculus. The derivative of price with respect to yield is approximately negative modified duration times price. Knowing this derivative, you can predict the next iteration much more accurately. Starting from our 7% guess where the price was 958.88, and using the approximate derivative, Newton-Raphson would jump to about 7.23% in one step, very close to the answer. Two more iterations get to machine precision. This is what every modern calculator and spreadsheet does internally. The Excel yield function, the Bloomberg ICVS screen, the Python SciPy library, all use variants of Newton-Raphson to compute yield from price. The math behind it is calculus, and it converges quadratically, meaning each iteration roughly doubles the number of correct decimal places. Section 8. Verifying the answer and practical tips. Let us verify our answer of 7.24%. Plug into the formula one more time. Each coupon discounted, face value discounted, sum them. The result should be approximately $950. To get precise we can iterate further, 7.239%, 7.2385%, and so on, until the computed price matches the actual price to the cent. In practice, for a bond quote, 2 decimal places of yield precision is usually enough. Spreadsheet formulas like Excel's yield function handle this entirely. A few practical tips. First, always start with a reasonable guess based on current yield and a premium/discount intuition. Second, beware of callable bonds. Newton-Raphson can converge to spurious routes. Third, for portfolios of many bonds, it is much faster to use a vectorized library like Python SciPy or Pythonance than to compute each yield one bond at a time. Fourth, recognize that any computed YTM is sensitive to the price input. A price quoted to the nearest cent gives a yield correct to about 3 or 4 decimal places. Beyond that, you are reading noise. Conclusion. Computing yield to maturity requires iteration because the bond pricing formula has no closed-form solution for yield. The basic approach is guess, compute the implied price, compare, adjust, repeat. Linear interpolation between two guesses can narrow the answer quickly. Newton-Raphson, which uses calculus, converges even faster. Real calculators use Newton-Raphson variance and arrive at YTM to many decimal places in microseconds. By doing the calculation once by hand, you understand exactly what your calculator is doing and you can spot when something has gone wrong. In episode 6 of module 2 we put the pricing toolkit to work on the 3 states of a bond, premium, par, and discount, and we will work several examples that make the relationships between coupon, yield, and price feel completely obvious. If you found this episode useful, please share it and subscribe to Capital Markets and Securities with Michael for the full 48-episode course.